Woo. Cool. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sales Mastery 2. Today, we're going to be talking about social media, like all the fun, cool stuff that's going on with social media. We had to update it because there's been a lot of changes, and I don't know if any of you guys have seen what's gone on with Facebook ads and the tracking across platforms today, and if anybody's seen what's going on there. We're not going to be talking about ads, though. We're going to be talking about what we can do to stay in front of our people and what we can do to try to generate leads with our people and to create conversations and to create conversions. So that's really what we're going to do. So I'm going to just start out by saying this. Every time that we go on Instagram or go on Facebook and we actually get somebody to converse with us, we make a post and somebody sends you something back like, oh, like what a cute rat on your shoulder, or whatever that might be, all right, or whatever that was. All right, totally kidding. Oh, possum, I'm sorry. Okay, then what we're really trying to do, but when somebody says that, that's a conversion. You guys, somebody to respond to us. Does that make sense? Okay. All right, so we'll jump right in and get rolling. First off, this is the crew. Adam, I don't know if you want to show the audience. And lots of super studs in here and future super studs. Every single one of them was hand invited, so I expect big things. And if you don't, it's your own fault. All right, so here we go. Social media for realtors in 2021. So first off, I want to just tell you guys a story. Since you're a little bit of a different audience, you probably have not heard this story before. But 2 years ago, we had a Canyon Laker that went out, or was it 3? That went out on a listing appointment. He had sold the parents their house. And they said, hey, we want you to call our son. He's 30, and he's got a condo that he wants to sell over in Marietta. He says, no problem. So he goes over to the guy's house, and he does the full listing presentation, the dog and pony show, all that sort of stuff. And he's getting ready to wrap it up. And the 30-year-old millennial client says, well, tell me about your Instagram presence. And he said, oh, well, it's decent. He goes, okay, so you got a good Instagram? And he's like, yeah, okay. All right, cool. He says, well, let's pull it up. And so the millennial pulls up the Instagram right in front of him and starts rolling through it, and there's barely anything there. Like I don't even know how many posts, 10 posts, and nothing about properties, nothing about real estate, none of that sort of stuff. And unfortunately, the guy basically said, well, I just have to be honest with you. This is most likely going to sell to a millennial, and I really appreciate you coming over, but you're probably not the agent for me. So flat out loss of $8,000, $9,000 in commissions because he did not take care of his Instagram. And as you guys know, how many people in here, for example, spend more time on Instagram than they do on Facebook? How many people? Okay, how many people spend more time on Facebook? Okay, so that being the case, I will tell you that in the millennial markets, Instagram is growing a lot faster than Facebook. However, I still believe, and people argue with me about this, if life is monopoly, Facebook has the houses and hotels. Those are the owners. That's the people, the older generation that has money. Those are the ones that are there more than they are on Instagram. So just something to be aware of. So that's why Instagram, though, is important, is that one story. And that's when Margaret and I, maybe 3 years ago, Margaret, really shook us up. And that's when we really started to focus on most of our attention on social media. And that's just what happens. So you guys know the reason that social media is important is because it spans all ages. Whether it's the 4-year-old, and this is a true story of a kid that went on and he was pulling up Disney Plus and different things on his iPad and saw that it only had 3.5 stars on the movie and would not watch it. Okay, that is the nature of where things are going, right? And then on this side, you have the 70-year-old lady that's, like my mom. She's watching what my sons are doing, and it's really one of the best ways for her to keep in contact with what's happening with the family. So you guys know it spans across the globe now. And across all gamuts of age and all that. And it's just going to continue. So that's why it's important. And what I wanted to talk to you guys about more today is screen-to-screen communication, because that's really what we're talking about. A couple of my buddies that are really successful using technology, they say, if you can't do something with your phone, that app or that service or whatever is probably going to die. Because if you can't use it with your phone, if you can't function solely on your phone, you're dead. So the communication that we're talking about is from phone to phone, from screen to screen. That's where I just want to let you know the direction's going to go today. So what did we learn in 2020? What we learned is that a lot of people go, I hate people, until you can't hang out with them, right? And then you're like, well, I guess they're okay. They're all right, like whatever. But the bottom line is that we crave human connection and interaction. And during this time, I don't know how about you guys, but how many of you guys would love to go to a concert again, no matter how packed it is, right? But before, you've been like, a concert is packed, now you're okay with it, right? And it's because we crave connection and interaction. And luckily, we're all in this room together now, and you're not 6 feet apart because it's lifted and we're allowed to have certain numbers. But what we did learn is the power of social media through this time. Do you guys agree? I mean, it really has, and it really has made an impact. And the people that already had done the work and already had the solid social media going into this pandemic are the ones that had the most success with social media. So it's like they were already ahead of the game, you know, like with some of our virtual tools and all that sort of stuff. But we did learn that our online presence was the only way that we could reach out to people. And you can call online presence Zoom and doing listening presentations that way and all that stuff, but that's how we communicated. And so your skills here were it. And I do want to say this too, and I'm going to say, you're going to see a slide for this later, but social media skills are as important now as arithmetic and math. Do you guys agree? So social media skills are as important as arithmetic and math. So that being the case, we have to treat it as such, as that important. So I want to talk real quickly about the neuroscience. And you guys probably know this, but seeing someone's face via a photo or a video is as powerful as if they were sitting next to you. And that's like study after study after study that's the way the brain works. The more you see somebody online, the more you feel like you know them. Do you guys agree? And it really comes down to the face. And they say that to recognize someone permanently, once you see their face 7 times, you will remember them for the rest of your life, or at least always have that, you know, cognitive recognition of that person. So you have a responsibility to remember that to get into the science of people's brains, you have to be putting your face out there. And I know a lot of you guys are like, I don't like that. I don't like the way I look. Get over it. All right? We know what you look like. Okay? We know what you look like. So that being the case, you know, when you do see someone's face or when you do communicate via whether it's Zoom or whether it's Facebook or Instagram or whatever, you're getting to know that person. You're starting to like that person, and you're doing the number one thing that we're all trying to build, which is create trust. Right? Trust is really what social media is about. And if you can do that just by posting pictures and what you say, that's a whole nother language. It's kind of what we were talking about. So, neuroscience. So we talked about the neuroscience of visuals. That's faces, right? Making sure that we're out there. I saw your pictures in the car when you were on your way to Havasu. You know what I mean? And you see that and you're like, okay, cool, it's Marianne, there's husband, there's kids, you know. I mean, so like, I felt like I was in the car. Does that make sense? I mean, one of the agents that was here last week posted a picture in a pair of pants where she was holding them out like this and she was down in one leg because she'd lost 127 pounds. I don't know if you guys saw her post. Like, it's awesome, you know, but like I felt like I was there. And so now I have a connection with that person. So we have to make sure that we continue to do that. So faces are the one thing. Shared community and sociology is the second thing. So it's about making sure that we're sharing what our lives look like and what we're doing in our lives. So the possum on your shoulder, your animal stuff, now people are going to start connecting with that. Havasu with the family and the kids, start and connect with that. You know, whatever may be going on, anything that you post that has to do with something they can relate with is the second key. So my face, something everybody can relate with, even if it's my kid hitting a home run, you know, or whatever it may be. Plus, and here's where it gets important, the product psychology of real estate. Unlike most people are on social media because they are trying to just share their lives. We're different. We're trying to sell real estate. You guys know what I mean? We're not like everybody else. So when you see other people, very few of them are trying to push their products the way we are. So when we mix faces, the commonalities of shared community experiences, and the fact that we're trying to sell real estate and such, that is what we're trying to do. We're trying to create a behavioral design in the people that are looking at our social media. We're trying to make an impact, but if you're just posting to post, that's one thing. But you got to remember, you want to have these 3 things as the ingredients to your posts. So behavioral design is where we're headed. And again, if they don't see your face online, don't worry. They'll use someone else they see their face. You guys know what I mean? It's true. And I just want to tell you, it's the way it is. Somebody last night lost a listing or lost a buyer, somebody in this room most likely, because you have not kept in front of your people. And Zillow, as they were laying in their iPad in bed, may have stole them from you. Do you guys agree that that probably happens? How many of you guys as real estate agents have gone on Zillow at night on your iPad? Anybody in here? Just because you didn't want to log into the MLS? Busted. I really want to see who it was. Okay, you and you out. Okay, no, totally kidding. Totally kidding. So, you know, and that's my thing is, you know, what we're really trying to do with, you know, when we're sending out lotto cards for St. Patrick's Day, when we're sending out flags for the 4th of July, when we're sending out See's candy for Christmas, you know, we are trying to make sure that we're staying in front of our people and keeping connected and making sure that they don't forget about us. This is the same. social media is no different. It's just another way to say, don't forget about us. Don't forget about us. And I'm going to show you the way that we should do this. And we're going to get into exactly what we should be doing soon. So we understand that the camera is the new social feed, right? This is the new way that people are going to see you more than they'll ever see you in person. More than, you know, and I see you all the time, Marianne, right? But I see you online. How often do we see each other in person? Not much. You know what I mean? That goes for all of us because this is the new world. This is where they're going to see you. And you guys know, and Snapchat is not as popular as it used to be, but when you used to see all those kids like making the goofy faces and doing all that stuff and sending, I'm mad, I'm this, I'm that, back and forth. And have you guys ever had that with teenagers in your house where they're just sending goofy pictures back and forth all the time? When we take photos, we are taking photos to preserve memories. I have 27,000 photos in there. I have everything I've ever done. I got all the way back to dirt bike riding with my kids, all the way up to, getting some, being at a top 10 breakfast or whatever. We're preserving memories, they're not. They are very different. They are communicating. So Snapchat and Instagram and all that sort of stuff, when I say they're communicating, it's another language, right? It is a completely different, it's like Japanese, Chinese, English, Spanish, social media, because that's the way they communicate now. And part of that is, this is one of the most trusted professions in the US, and I think you guys know this, but Uber drivers. You guys know that they are now one of the most trusted people in the entire country. Why are they so trusted? They've got all their ratings, whether it's 980 ratings, it's got their picture, right, and it's got their name. So is anybody scared getting into an Uber anymore? Is anybody ever scared? No, you don't even care. You're drunk usually. So you're like, oh, what's that? So that being the case, we have to take the lesson from this and realize how important that face, those reviews, and our name are to being out in front of people. That's the lesson right here. That's the lesson that we have to learn. So, just be aware. So now let's talk about persona and the way, where do you start with social media? And I know a lot of you guys, there's a lot of younger people in here that probably already have awesome social media, but I'm gonna pretend that you don't, okay? We're gonna step back. So most people, particularly boomers and older age Xers, are very scared about what they should post. They don't know what to post, to the point where they're like literally panicked about what they should be posting. And it's just very typical. They just don't know, and what's going to work, what's going to resonate, what's not going to resonate. Taking 50 different pictures to try to pick one, and then they end up not liking it, and they don't even do that one. Is that any of you guys? Making videos, making video, and never even posting it because you don't like the way your hair looks or your voice sounds. So, why is it so hard to figure out what to post? And the bottom line is, we have to not be afraid to be authentic. That is the key, is to be authentic. If you love to cook, if you love to cook lasagnas, show yourself cooking lasagnas. If you like to, if you're in a book club, whatever it may be yourself, be real, and you will attract the type of clients that you'll be happy to work with, which overall will make you like what you do for a living. Because if they don't like you when you're being authentic, is that really a client you want to work with, or is that somebody that could end up being a combative nightmare? If they know you, if I'm posting this is what I'm about, this is what I like to do, this is who I am, those people will be drawn to you. Does that make sense? As opposed to putting fake stuff out there that's not even really you, and then next thing you know, you get drawn in by people that aren't clicking with your personality. So being authentic is really big. Being authentic is really big in whatever you do, and a lot of you guys are really good at that. But now let's talk about building your brand, because again, for most people that are in social media, they're doing it for fun. They're doing it because, hey, this is what my kids are up to. Their mom's watching it back in New Jersey, all that stuff. But again, remember, we are in the business of social media. We're trying to create that product psychology of real estate. So that being the case, building your brand, what makes you special? So, and when we're asking that question, what should we post? You have to ask yourself these questions. What makes you special? I don't know if you can read this, but what brings you joy? And what are your talents? What are your hobbies? What are your niches? What are your specialty services? Maybe you're into horses. Maybe you're into Harleys. Maybe you're into cooking. Maybe you're into, knitting, crafts, whatever it may be. You have to find out what makes you special. What do you enjoy? What is your kind of makeup of you? And put that out into the world. Because again, that's what's going to draw people in. And how can you impact or help your friends or followers, aside from just selling homes? Like, what things can I do? Like when you're talking about pet stuff, or Mary Long, she's always like rescuing cats and dogs and putting stuff out there. I mean, that's who she is. But what can you bring to your clients based on your hobbies? And here's the next question. If I were to go on Steve Batista's stuff or Sandy's stuff, how does your TV show look? That's what I want to know. How does your TV show, which is your Instagram and your social media, look? Is it something that really looks like you have created yourself into someone that's worth watching? Is your stuff worth watching, Karen? Catherine, is your stuff worth watching? No?
Probably not. No.
Okay. Mark, your stuff worth watching?
Yes.
Oh, good. All right. Hey, I got to add him as a friend. So, you know, and don't get me wrong. Like, I love a hot mess. Somebody's life that's a hot mess too. Like, it makes me feel good about me. You know what I mean? And it's super fun to watch, but I wouldn't want to buy real estate from him. You know what I mean? So the question is your TV show worth watching? And again, that's what I'm saying. Some people I love, but I wouldn't buy from them. And I can tell you right now that some of the people in this room are not getting listing appointments. You're not getting that buyer that wants to work for you because work with you because when I go on your social media, you don't impress me to the point of being someone that I can trust the biggest purchase or the biggest sale in my life to. So I believe that a lot of people are guilty of that. So making sure that you are going back and posting valuable things is key. Posting things that add to your TV show. So when I look at these people, each one of them gives you a different feeling, right? Whether it's Jon Snow, whether it's, what's this guy's name, McDreamy? Is that what? Oh.
I'd buy from Jon Snow.
You buy from Jon Snow? I know, I was in Long Beach doing this, and I was talking to the girl, and I said, God, he looks freezing. She's like, well, I'm feeling pretty hot right now. Looking at it. I'm like, oh, whatever. All right, so the whole point being that, you know, these people give you a feeling, right? The Golden Girls, whatever it may be, but the question I have for you is, what feeling would I get looking at your stuff? What does your character look like, right? And that leads to the next thing, which is, you know, relatability. People come for the plot. So like Stephanie. So if I were to go there, I want to know who Stephanie is. I want to know what she's all about, and I'm going to look at her stuff real quick, and then I'm going to make a decision. Do I want to stay for the characters of her life? You know, and I've run into people in the grocery store that have said like, oh man, that's so cool. Your kids are in Europe. I hadn't seen them in 3 years, nor had they commented on anything. And I'm like, yeah. He goes, yeah, how is Trevor? And I'm like, how the hell do you even know my kids' names? You know what I mean? But you got to remember, people are watching, and they're watching because they want to know the characters in your life. Steve's kids, you know? I mean, everybody, they just want to know them. And so only if your stuff is exciting enough and memorable enough to, you know, to be worth it. So, and how much does social media cost, guys? Nothing. All right. Now, so it is free, but not doing it, here's the real cost by not doing it. Again, some agents are not even getting the opportunity to go on the appointment. You're not. If I pull you up, you're not getting it. You're just not even getting the interview. That's scary, especially for you newer people out there. Because people ask me, where do I start? The new kid, Jake, you know, who just got out of the service. He's like, where do I start? And I'm like, well, he has absolutely nothing posted about real estate at all. He has no homes that he's ever previewed. He's got nothing that shows sold, nothing that, you know, at all. And if someone goes on his Instagram, would you use him? No. And I said, your first thing you got to do is you got to be constantly posting real estate, real estate, real estate. I saw you take a picture already, Steve. You were taking a picture saying, hey, I'm in social media training today. I'm a badass realtor. Look at me go, trying to get better. You know what I mean? So whatever that may be, right? So you know, some agents are just not getting the opportunity to go on the appointment. So if I were to look you up, what would I see? That's the question. And would you look like somebody that I would want to use? And here's the things, the basic components that you have to have in all of your social media. Number one, your correct name on Instagram. Not Hot Harley Mama 5. Okay, I'm talking about not Reno Cool Mom. You guys know what I'm talking about? When people try to find you, they can't find you because a lot of you guys have funky ass names. Get rid of that and put in your name, okay? Number two, contact information. Nothing drives me crazier, and I'm like literally about ready to lose it. I feel my blood pressure going up right now. When I go on and I'm trying to find one of our agents, and I go on and I cannot find their phone number on Facebook or on Instagram, anywhere. That drives me insane because that means they're going to go on and they're going to look for you, and if they can't find your number right away, you're out. You're out. And like the people that put it on their backdrop of their Facebook and it's got their phone number right in the corner or whatever, those are my favorite people. I know what you do, and here's my phone number, right? I mean, that's what you should have. So minimum phone number and email. Current and recognizable photo of your face. We're really big on that. Some of you guys have probably been through Becca's scorecard with her, where she goes through all of your social media and does your Instagram and your LinkedIn and all that sort of stuff. But remember, how big is the Instagram on your phone when you look at that person's face? It's about that big, right? So you have to blow your face up all the way as big as you can and make sure that you're not wearing sunglasses, your hair color isn't different because they will skip right over you and never add you. So make sure that you have a current and recognizable photo of your face, okay? And I know a lot of people have like their families or different things, but just you, big, noticeable of your face. Number 3, the backdrop should always define what you do. So if I go on right now, some people have like themselves kissing their husband or I hate that stuff, or all their screaming kids or whatever, and that's cool, but it has to depict what you do. That back has to have it can be something cool, but with a Coldwell Banker sold sign and your phone number or something on there so that the minute I go on, I know Ashley Goods in real estate. Does that make sense? And if I don't know what you do and I go onto your page, I'm gonna lose it. I want you guys. I just want you to know. So your timeline cover, I have to know what you do right out of the gate. Of course, your job title and a brokerage, the fact that you are a realtor, and your real estate license number should also be on there, just to be safe. No one's really had a problem in our company with it, but it's something to be aware of. And your bio section on all of your things, on your LinkedIn, on your Instagram, on your Facebook, how many of you guys have really good dialed in bio sections on your social media? Two. All right. Get it together, people. All right? Get it together. That's what this stuff is for, all right? So I just want to make sure you're as complete as possible. And don't forget, your photo should be the same photo across Instagram, across Facebook, across LinkedIn, on Google, the same one that's in your V-card in your phone. I'm sure you guys are sending out your contact information V-card to all of your clients once a year and all that stuff. Make sure it's the same photo on every single thing. And you can update it once a year, which is another great excuse to send out your V-card again the next year with your newest addresses and all that sort of fun stuff. So complete profile. And this is a true story. No profile is equated to me, and I think you guys would agree, with a serial killer. I mean, really, aren't you scared when you look somebody up and they don't have a profile? Oh shit, you know what I mean? What are they hiding? What did they do? You guys know what I'm talking about? You know what I mean? Or another one that does it and they don't have their picture. It's just a blank one, and I'm like,
That one's even worse.
they're creepy, and then they want to be your friend.
Jake said, thanks for calling him out. Now he's really going to get it together.
Sorry, Jake. You're welcome. All right. So anyways, but it is scary, I mean, if you don't have a profile, and we do have people that don't. So I mean, it kind of is what it is. So let's talk about algorithms and top of feed. So if Steve Batiz goes on his iPad right now and he opens up Facebook, why are the same people going to come in at the top of his feed every single time? Do you guys know? Same people he looks at. That's one of them. However, if he looks at them and doesn't comment, they're going to drop to the bottom, right? And we're going to talk about that. So algorithm and top of feed. Number 1, the basics. Content through context. Okay, content through context. And here's what I mean. That is not a waste of your time for you guys to go back into everything that you have posted in the last 2 years and see which things were the most successful. Because that's going to tell you what people are most interested in about you. Does that make sense? So do not think that spending a day working on your social media is a waste of your time. If you said, today I'm going to do that, it's going to pay off. So for example, and I'm going to give you some examples. You got to make the most of a good post, but don't post garbage. Pay attention to what your audience likes. This right here was the worst post I've ever done in the history of my life. All right? This was the 2018 Business Planning and Tech Summit. 55 likes. Probably just a complete waste of time. All right? It literally bombed. And it had 3 shares and still only got 55 likes. I mean, and 2 comments. Oh, somebody's getting upset out there. So that being the case, I realized this is not what people want. This is absolutely not what people want. 55 likes was, I'm like, okay, I blew it. I was so upset about this. And then, and that's another reason, but that was in 2017 before we really got into it. So this one has 55 likes. This one is my son, Trevor, who goes to San Diego State when he was moving into his new frat. And I'm like, okay, 284 likes and 50 comments. So what does this tell me about the difference between this one and this one, right? So I started realizing, okay, what do people want to know? They want to know about, remember I talked about the characters? They want to know about the characters. This is my youngest son when he joined the Marines. 466 likes, 138 comments. So what does that tell me? This or this? You with me? So people are always interested in, and I went through, we had a guy, I did this same thing for Coldwell Banker Premier in Las Vegas last week, and they have a guy that they just say is like a guru over there. And so I went through all of his social media, pulled everything up to see why he's considered the guru. And he had the same problem that a lot of people do. He'd post a house and get 3 likes, and then he'd post a picture of his kid and get 300 likes. You guys know what I mean? So remember, people don't want to just see you posting a picture of an open house or an empty house or a vacant house or whatever. Put people in it I mean, how do you guys feel? Do you guys think it's cool? Do you get any feeling when you see me here with my son as he signed up for the Marines? Can you feel something there? That means that you felt something, right? And if you can get people to feel, it's a victory. So in our post, that's what we're trying to do. And then there's more details here, but now let's talk about post frequency. Here's the big question. How often should I post? That's a big one. In your main feed, the one that's permanently there, it should be once a week, maybe twice. Some people are posting every day. Big mistake. Destruction of the algorithm, okay? You want to post on your main feed once a week, maybe twice. Things that when I go to look back at your life or when I pull you up, that I can say, okay, cool, this is who Sandy is. You know what I mean? And that's cool because your stories may or may not always be there. Stories, however, should be every day, 1 to 3 times a day. Stories should be every day, 1 to 3 times a day. I know that sounds like a lot. It's not. Steve, you already took a picture. That'd be easy. You already got one. You guys are all here. Hopefully you took a picture in the studio or doing this or whatever, but you should be sharing most everything about your life because that's what people want to know, right? They want to know what you're up to. But consistency matters most. So if I am committing to once a week, it needs to be once a week. If I'm committing to 1 to 3 a day, it needs to be 1 to 3 a day. Again, this is as important for your business as sending out just listeds and just solds and making sure that you're getting those lotto tickets out for St. Patty's. This is everything right now. So that's number 1. Next thing is optimizing your post reach. So this one is really, really important. So I mentioned to you this one right here, where my son got 466 likes, right? Because when he joined the Marines. So here's how I got to that. This was a while ago. It was October 3rd of last year. And we had a business planning event going on. And I knew that basically by commenting, by responding to people's comments, that's how you move up to the top of the feed. So here's how it works. So you put out a post on Facebook. Facebook says, I'm going to drop it to these 2 and see what the result is. She likes it and he likes it. Ooh, okay. Now I'm going to expand it to this group. She liked it and she liked it. Now I'm going to expand it to this group, Now, had they not responded, that post is dead. Facebook is trying to do one thing, get all eyes on the screen. You guys with me? So if you do not get the results you want, then what happens is it's not going to go out into the world, and the next time you post, it's going to go to no one too because they say, Steve is a boring poster. He only gets 55 likes on his business planning, right? Or whatever that may be. So knowing that, knowing that there is a system to how you can make sure that you come up in front of all of your clients all the time. Number 1 is called priming the post. When you are going, and here's some new information for those of you guys that have seen this before, but this is new, like current stuff. Anytime you're about ready to make a post, you want to prime the post. And what that means is you want to go into Facebook, or this particular Facebook that we're talking about right now, and you want to start liking and commenting on the other people that you're seeing their stuff first. You're starting to engage them and making sure that you are setting it up for when you make the post so that it immediately pops up in front of them. You with me? So before you post, you want to just spend 5, 10, 15 minutes, like, comment, hey, nice hair, this looks great, da-da-da-da-da-da, love that rat, whatever it may be. All right, and just go from that. So that's the first thing, right? Priming the post. The second thing, and this is the cardinal sin, and I can't stand it. I never even want to talk to people when they do this. Don't post and ghost. Do you guys know what I mean? I got a call this morning, Margaret, from Janet Hawkins. And Janet just made a post today, and that post said, if you were to move out of California, which state or international location would you want to go to? So far, she just posted it last night, she's had 65 people respond to that post, right? So she has gotten something that is engaging. So now her job is to react to every single one of those people because the next time she posts, so this one's taken off like a rocket if she's got 65 comments already. So if you post and ghost, if I were to post that and never say anything, number 1, it sucks to be that person that responded and she never responds back. But it's going to make it so that people aren't going to want to do it in the future. You have an opportunity right now when you get a good post, when you hit that grand slam, when you get the good one to make sure that you're responding to everybody right away. So you come up at the top of it next time. When you do comment, understanding that comments are what is going to boost you to the top of the feed, they should be meaningful comments, and that will build you better relationships. So if let's say, you posted a picture and it was of your kid and he's playing baseball and his team name is the Astros or whatever, and you say like, oh, that is so cool, my kid plays for the Astros, how'd they doing this year? That's a lot more meaningful than nice, cool, great. So by engaging them, but if you notice at the end of that, but like, how's their team doing this year? That's a question, Yonner. That's a question, right? So by sorry, but by asking a question, the most powerful thing you can do is, I comment on Steve's stuff, Steve comes back to me, I go back to him, boom, I'm at the top of your feed forever, dude. Like once you engage them, now you're gonna be at the top of the feed all their time. Talked about this, and this has changed. We always used to say use 4 words. So if you want to end up at top of feed, if I say nice or looks great, you're not going to get any response. If I say looks great, how did that work for you? Now I'm past 4. Now you'll move up to the top of the algorithm. So you have to have at least 4. But the new thing they're saying right now is that it takes 5 words. So when you comment on anyone's post, 5 words instead of 4. Okay. Now it's coming back to this post right here, and this is what I wanted to share with you guys. So before business planning, the night before, at about 6 o'clock in the evening, this post had already been out for almost 6 weeks. I went back and I commented on some of these people's comments. It was at 369 posts. Likes, 369 likes. I went and I commented and I said, hey, thank you. Sorry I didn't get back to you before. I'm really proud of them. I'll pass on the message that, you said congratulations and thank you for your service or whatever. And I went through and I hit about 5 or 6 people doing that. By the next morning when I got up and when I presented it at our event, we had 466. So it jumped from 369 to 466 on a post that had been dead and not been out for 6 months because I started commenting again. And it popped up in front of everybody's feeds again. You guys with me? So that's the secret is to, and here's the kicker. So what happens is Steve makes a post and he gets 5 or 6 comments and he goes on and he responds to each one of those people. Over. What you want to do is during the first hour, let's say if 3 people respond during the first hour, that's the most important. During that first hour, you want to respond to at least 2 or 3 of them. Then you want to delay. You want to wait an hour or 2, then comment again. Wait an hour or 2, then comment again. Wait an hour or 2, then comment again. Because what happens is it continually brings it back up to the front of the feed for longer. It's continually going and going. Does that make sense? You guys with me? So delay your comments, but remember that the first hour matters. All right. Less contenting and more engagement. So do you remember when I said, and I'm sorry, I forgot to say this earlier, 1 to 3 times a day you do the stories, and you should be posting your timeline once a week? So you're posting your timeline once a week, but what that means is the other days you should be doing nothing but commenting on people's stuff. Because I want you to think of it this way. If I see somebody come by, let's say that Chris makes a post, and I see it as I'm going by. And let's say that Chris is my client, and I'm the agent. If I don't like it and comment on it, here's how I want you to think of it. I don't care about you, and I don't care about your business. I don't want to sell your home. That's how every time you don't make a comment on somebody's post that is a client or a potential client, I want you to say, I don't care about this person, I don't care about selling their house, and I don't want to be at the top of their feed. I want you to take it that serious. So you're posting 1 day a week, but on the other days, you need to be doing commenting and engagement. It is a job. It's a 30-minute a day job for you to be commenting on their stuff so that you make sure you stay at the top of the feed. So again, not commenting means I don't care about you at all. You're not important to me in my life. Okay? So is that guilty enough? Does that just bring the point home? All right. So there are different ways that we can engage. Number 1, there's active ways to engage, and there's passive ways to engage when I am getting involved with it. Commenting is the number one way to stay at the top of your client's feed. Sharing is number 2. So when I share somebody's post, that's a big deal. And number 3, reacting, whether you throw out some emoji or something like that. So these are the ways to make sure that you can become a super fan. You want to be all of your clients' super fans. Does that make sense? You want to be the one that's like all over their shit all the time, right? So that's active. Passive. These are the things that you don't want to do. And this is what we were talking about earlier, Sandy. And I don't think this is what you meant, but by looking at their stuff, by clicking on it and looking at it, blowing it up, doing whatever, by watching it, by viewing and hovering, you're still moving down to the bottom. You're going to get no traction by clicking on their photo or anything like that. You have to do these things to make sure you're at top of feed. This will get you nowhere. Does that make sense? And that's what I was saying. You're not important to me if this is what you're doing. Okay, so number 6, your custom friends list. I was out in Long Beach last year, and I had a lady raise her hand in the back, and she's like, "Hey, Chuck, I got a question." I said, "Sure." And she goes, "Every time I post that I hate Trump, I get deals." And then she goes, "But guess what? Every time I post I hate Trump, I lose deals." And I'm like, she goes, "What do I do?" And I said, "Well, number 1, stay out of politics and religion." She goes, "But I'm getting deals." I'm like, "Okay, do what you want, all right?" But the kicker was that she did not know how to handle the fact that she's losing clients with a post and making clients with a post. So are you guys familiar with custom friends lists? Very, very easy to just go in and create list, custom friends list. So I have one, this is mine. So we have a recruiting hit list, agents that I would like to join the company. Coldwell Banker Associated Brokers, our agents, my high school buddies, people from my college, my close friends. And so I have different groups. So anytime I want to, if you were to build a custom friends list that was just your clients, for example, that's pretty gold. Because now I know these are the people I want to go on and comment to. And when you add somebody new, like I'm going to add Steve or whatever, if Steve added, was added to my group, I'm going to drop him right in here into the Coldwell Banker Associated Brokers group. So if I ever want to go in and comment on any of his stuff and see what people have going on, I can do that. And like I post stuff to my high school buddies that I'm not going to put out to my clients. You guys know what I mean? So, and you can go on their stuff once in a while and you want to check it. So this is just a new way to kind of cruise around. But so now she has her pro-Trump group and her anti-Trump group. That's actually what she did. So now, for her, that's how it works. And the other thing I wanted to say is, this is intentional prospecting. And what I mean is, we have this thing, and I don't know how many of you guys were on the call with Bob Hamrick from Coldwell Banker Premier. Did you guys see that on the Fired Up Friday about 2 weeks ago? Just killed it. And his main theme was, you have to have a goal when I'm adding people into my database. Forget this for a minute. When I'm adding people into my database, let's say that I wanted to add 20 people to my database a month, one person a day during the week. Most of us don't do that. You meet somebody, Marianne, cool, I'm going to add this friend. That's about it. But if you set a goal in your head, I'm going to add 20 people in this month and I'm going to write it down, now I'm intentionally looking to add people to my database. It's the same thing with my social media. I am intentionally looking for 30 people to add to be my friend on social media. It's intentional prospecting. Most of us, and it goes back to what I said on that Motivational Monday, are you going to let the day run you or are you going to run your day? This is about taking control of your life and determining who you want to add and who you don't want to add and building your business, right? And it's the same thing with social media. So that's what I mean when I say intentional prospecting. Number 7, take good photos. You're realtors, it's important, all right? And number 1, I mentioned this before, my dad taught me this when I was real young. Always have a picture I always have a person in the picture. I love, look at the mountain view. Gone, you know what I mean? But look at a mountain view with my kid in it. And then you're like, okay, that's cool. So always have a person in the picture. Number 2, always clean your lens. Always clean your lens before you take that picture because you never know how many you can lose because your kid dropped peanut butter and jelly right on the lens. You never know. Number 3, avoid using your flash if you can. Try not to use your flash. You can always brighten it. And it will blow out pictures if you're not careful. Focus on brightness. Always tap, right? Always tap on the person so that you can have a nice clean photo. Or if you're trying to get the backdrop, tap on the backdrop. Whatever you're trying to highlight. Selfies, the dad chin. Hold it high, right? Hold it high. Also, be aware of your background. One of my favorite posts ever that I saw was this lady that I know pretty well, actually. She made a post, and she was sitting there like kind of smiling, and didn't even realize on her table she had a bong. She had a bong sitting there like right on the table. I'm like, you might want to get rid of this one. You know what I mean? So not that it's a big deal, and she probably didn't even care, but she had a bong in the background. So when you take your pictures, always just take a minute and really take a look at the background. I was in San Antonio, and I was with some people, and I asked this guy, he was from France, if he could take a picture. And I learned a lot from this guy. And so he gets my camera, and he pulls it out, and he's like, okay, all right. And he's like jumping all around, and he finally lays down on the ground, and he like, okay, hang on, click, and he takes the picture. It was the best picture I got from San Antonio. All he did was spend an extra 15 seconds, because a lot of times you just don't want to bug people, so you put a camera out, all right, hey, let me get a quick picture. Whereas if I came over here, it changes the whole thing. You guys with me? So take your time, take the extra seconds when you're taking these pictures, because we took one of that was a really important photo for us out in front of the company one time, and like the way the handicap sign was just really made it look bizarre. Okay, because we didn't take our time and really look at what the picture was supposed to be. So take the extra seconds for the shot.
True story, Chuck.
Yes.
George and Jessica, when they first joined the company, I took a picture of them, and I literally stood on the front desk to get the right angle, to get the right shot and everything. And now every time I'm in the office, they're like, "Can you come in here and take this picture of all of us and stuff like that?" So
that's pretty funny.
taking the time, people will remember when you take the time to get the right angle.
I got my aunt her husband that way.
You did what?
I got my aunt her husband.
You landed her a man that way?
I did.
Really?
She was on the dating website.
Go ahead, keep going.
She couldn't. She wasn't getting very good pictures on her own, and I was maybe 17 at the time, so big in social media.
Okay.
I got up on a table, took the time, went down, did it, didn't show her double chin, and got her a man. They've been married 11 years now.
Really?
And I am now the pro picture taker at every event.
Okay, cool. Well, let's
Sits on
talk
table.
afterwards. I need to get some pictures. So, all right, cool. That's funny. That's funny. Good stuff. Okay, so we're talking about pictures. We're talking about video a little bit. We're going to start moving into the video pieces a little bit. But now we're going to talk about the 5 E's of content, right? So, again, if you make a post of a vacant open house, like I've said before, you're going to get 3 likes, your mom, Margaret, and me. Okay, that's about all you're going to get, right? And then guess what? You're at the bottom of the feed permanently until you can dig yourself out of that hole. So just remember, with every picture that you take, you want to consider the 5 E's, okay? Number 1, educational. People love education. Everybody on the planet wants to sell real estate. You guys know that, right? How many people have said, you know what, I'm done with this engineering job. I'm going to come meet with you, Jennifer. We're going to do this, Everybody says it. Do you guys agree? I mean, everybody thinks that they want to do it until they realize that this business will kick the shit out of you. But anyway, so educational. I could post a video of me opening a lockbox, or you could. People are going to watch it. Do you agree? Putting up a sign. People are going to watch it. Things that are educational, like, hey, you know what just happened with VA loans? You're not going to believe it. Blah, 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 blah. Did you hear what happened with rates today? Yada, yada, yada. Last week, lowest rates in history. I don't know if you guys know that. 15-year, 1.9. Entertaining, right? Interesting. So that's educational. Number 2 is entertaining. Remember this. If I'm doing a video and I'm just talking like this, that's one thing. You guys are going to be like, this is really great. Or if I'm taking a picture. But if I take a picture, what's that? All of a sudden, it's got some entertainment value to it. So whatever you do, try to be entertaining. Remember, your TV show, right? Your TV show. Number 3, emotional. There are some stuff, whether it was the Marines one with my son, or dropping my other kid off at college, or whether it's, sad, but if don't post too much of this stuff, but if you're at a funeral or a wedding or stuff like that, people are drawn to the emotional stuff, especially nostalgia. You sitting on your dad's lap in his old Indian motorcycle or whatever is something that people like because there's an emotional vibe to that. Number 4 is engaging. That's probably the most important thing that you could possibly do, which means if I can post something that's going to get you to respond to me or to comment to my stuff, that means I've engaged you and I got a conversion, right? So, like I said, Janet's post about what state would you want to live in getting 65 comments. That was engaging. Number 5 is exclusive. People like to feel like they're inside, like, I just put a new listing on the MLS. Only you and 40 million other people know about it. Okay. So, but it's exclusive, right? It's like special. I got this listing coming up. It's going to be the bomb. So anything you want to do here, but things that are going to entertain people one way or another. All right. Stories. Stories are the future. Do we agree? Most people are not going like this anymore. They're going like this. Agreed? They're going like this because they want to see what's happening in Stephanie's life now. That's what they want to know, right? So let's talk stories. The cool part about it is it's real time is human time. Like if I posted a picture, and I kind of blew this, but I got a helicopter on the way back from Catalina on Sunday, which was super cool. Well, I forgot to post it. I can't post it the next day, right? Because that's not what it's about. It's about what's happening right now, today, at this moment in your life. And again, by posting something like that, you are inviting people into your life, which is the ultimate thing that we can do, is inviting them into our lives, right? Real time is human time. Next up, top of feed. Again, stories are at the top. People are going to look at them. Don't forget that. They're way better than a post. How many times have you just looked through the stories and never gone down through your posts? Probably a lot. So remember, they're top of feed. The number 1 goal, again, with all our social media, if you listen and get one thing out of this today, this is what I want you to know. The goal of social media is to get yourself into a private conversation with people. That is what we're trying to do. I'm not going to see them right now at the concert. I'm not going to see them at the ball game. I'm going to try to get them into a private conversation. So that is your goal, and that's what I consider a conversion. If you get a client that comments on your stuff and asks you, hey, Jennifer, that was super cool. I saw the cabinets or the countertop or whatever, victory. Victory. Our goal, generate private conversations. It's cool. It can tell you who watched, who's stalking you. That's always fun. I love that. And it's only good for 24 hours. You get drunk, you get stupid, it's gone to 24 hours. It's fine. All right? We've all done it. It happens. Or the next morning, shit. So, whatever. Unless you want to keep it, right? Then you can save it as a highlight. Do you guys have highlights? Are you saving your highlights? So any stories you have, you can just create a little thing down below and keep it as a highlight. So, stories. Again, creating more engaging stories, this is really cool. And again, I know this is very basic for a lot of you guys, but adding the location, hashtags, all that sort of stuff is important. Location, mention, questions, GIFs, polls, quizzes. These polls and quizzes are the best. If you just posted one today and it said, anybody thinking about moving in May? One response. That's all you need. One response. Isn't that easy and stupid and simple? Yet we don't do it. Right? So, and of course your camera roll. So I don't know if you guys know, this is a newer feature. You guys know that this one down here, you now can, I could have a video of me doing a video, and then I can have live camera roll photos on the bottom half. Did you guys know that? So hey, I just want to tell you about this new listing. Here's 4 pictures, So you can add these on here right from your picture roll. See, that was worth coming, huh, Marianne? Now you know you can add those in your picture roll. And I expect you all to do one today. All 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. You're all doing one today. Deal? Who's not going to make a post and not use this today? Raise your hand. Okay. You saw it, Margaret. You saw it. All right. Probably me. All right. Yeah, you'll post a rat. All right. All right. So here we go. I know it's possible. I'm kidding. So tell a story. So with everything you do, and a lot of these are Jennifer Murphy's, because I think Jennifer Murphy has some of the best social media in the company. And if you guys are not friends with Jennifer Murphy, you need to be a friend. Remember, R&D, rip off and duplicate, do what she does. So everything tells a story. So, showed a house today with some super interesting art. Some weird shit, right? But you looked at it. Next up, I'm conducting a poll. Do I like this? Yes or no, right? Interactive. The next one. Attention-grabbing GIFs. Oh my God, look at this. See the arrows pointing down, how this circled and moved. It's just making it so that my eyes, I'll stop on it for an extra second. It's a thing. It's a thing. Do you drink whiskey? Happy Whiskey Wednesday. Yes or hell no, right? It's just trying to get engagement, and engagement equals conversion, right? Conversion. That's what she's trying to get to. And then the last one, this is the view. Tagging a location, of course, is always a great thing to do, just letting people know where they are. La Cresta Estates, whatever. So just some of her typical stuff that she's posting daily. Like if you guys went on her stories right now, there's probably 20 of them on there at least. And she throws some politics and stuff in there too, which is kind of funny, but dangerous. This is the other thing. This is really important. There's magic in the mundane. Don't think that the basic things, cooking, people want to know. There's magic in the mundane. Trying to pick which jacket. There's magic in the mundane. Don't think that that just because it seems like it's not exciting or boring that people aren't going to watch it. They're going to. When you were picking a suit, if you were holding them both up, well, if you're naked, that probably wouldn't be good, but like whatever. But it probably would. You'd probably get some attention. But just remember that there's magic in the mundane. Cooking. People are used to cooking. Driving to work. I don't know. When I came in this morning, Margaret, did you see the giant hot air balloon? I tried to take a picture of it, but I almost hit somebody, so I decided I shouldn't because I was driving. But anyways, that's just something. Did you see it today? The hot air balloon? Oh, the big one right over here in Canyon Lake, right in the middle. So it's not supposed to be complicated. Don't overthink it. The mundane, okay? The mundane. Let's see. Let's keep going here. Video. You guys know we can't hide from video anymore, right? You have to do video. How many people in here have never done a video and posted a video? Okay. Good. I'm glad to hear that. Okay. Because you can't hide from it anymore. And you guys know video produces up to 18 times more engagement. 18 times. And people are going to watch it. People are going to watch videos. They're just going to. 18 times more than a standard post. And are you using video often? And if not, why are you fighting the future? You got to accept it. And this is where I always like to say, is it because you're having a bad hair day? Have you ever not posted something because you didn't like your hair that day? Has anybody done that? Okay, guess what? Well, that's funny, dude. That's a good one. All right, so a bad hair day. But here's what you got to realize. People know what you look like. You guys know that, right? They know what you look like. They know what your voice sounds like. Oh, God, I sound so annoying. That's who you are. You know what I mean? Just post. Just post. You don't like the way your voice sounds. There's just so many things. And here's here's what are you afraid of? Saying something dumb? It's funny when you say something, especially going live. What are you going to do? I mean, if you fumble, you stumble over your words, people are going to relate with that. They're going to, or I don't have good equipment. You have a phone, you're fine. Okay, don't give me that crap. And analysis paralysis is, I think, probably the biggest one. I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to do, so you never do it. Or like you said, you video 50 things and never even send it. So just something to be aware of. Just do it. And like I always say, perfection is the enemy of progress. Stop trying to make everything perfect. You're never going to. You're never going to make everything perfect. And comparison, when you're going online and you go, but Marianne's videos are so good and mine suck. Comparison is the thief of joy. Okay, stop trying to compare yourself to other people. Just put something out there, be visible. All you really care about is remember me, remember me, remember me. You guys with me? That's all we care about. So just a thought. And don't forget this, agents with videos versus agents without videos, when they go to look you up on Google, on Facebook, if you have some real estate related videos on your social media, you are 100 times more likely to get that listing than somebody who does not have videos. 100 times. And this is the important, this is probably my favorite thing in the whole thing. My crappy video will outperform your absent video every time. Don't forget that. My crappy video will outperform your absent video every time. Something to keep in mind. Were you say something? Oh, okay. Again, and this is where it comes back to being authentic, right? Don't be afraid to be authentic, to be yourself, to be real. I mean, that's what we have to do. Even if you're weird, so what? You'll attract other weird people. Be good. So here's some key summary points before we go any further. Social selling, right? We're trying to create a behavioral design, right? And shaping expectations of our clients. Just remember, everything we post is trying to make sure real estate, product psychology, my face, shared sociological experiences that they relate with. Next, your online personal branding matters. It matters. What you post and how you look and your TV show and all of that stuff is really going to determine whether you get that listing appointment or you don't, whether you land that buyer or you don't. And we build trust through technology, right? So the more you see my face, the more you trust me. I could sell your house. Let's do it, right? And then customers expect to see you online. And remember, you're battling with Zillow. You're battling with Zillow. You're battling with that iPad in the middle of the night when they're laying there flipping through properties. And if they're flipping through Facebook and they see your face, then they see a property, you'll probably get that call. You know what I mean? So it's not okay to be anonymous. You have to be out front. You have to be visible. So, but I wanted to open it up to questions or comments, or if anybody has anything to add at all right now. Anybody have anything that they would like to add?
I say while they're thinking of their questions, if you're going to be doing a video, you can go on Amazon, buy a little phone tripod that you can put on your desk, and you can buy a ring light, a clip-on ring light to put over your camera, so you don't have to worry about the lighting, and it will just illuminate your face and make you look nice and shiny.
Yeah, so now you have no excuses about the way you look.
Yeah. That's right. That's right.
So, and that will cost you, seriously, it will cost you less than $50 to get
Less than $50, yeah, for sure. So anybody have any questions at all? Did you guys get something out of all this material? Did I talk too fast? No? All right, so, and Margaret, anything? Okay, so basically, this video is also gonna be on Facebook, but my main thing for you guys is just to make sure that you are being consistent, to remember that you have a responsibility to comment and post on every single one of your clients or potential clients' stuff. Make sure that you are friends with each other here at Coldwell Banker Associated Brokers. And you know what? Don't ever be afraid to steal something too. If Stephanie puts something up cool, take it, Lacey. Take it. You know what I mean? And make it your own. Because your crew is going to be different than her crew. You don't have the same clients. And if you see something cool, and I've seen Jennifer Murphy rip a bunch of stuff from a bunch of people, and that's fine. Be entertaining. Have good content. Stuff that's going to put it out there. And are you guys all afraid now of making a crappy post because you're going to drop to the bottom of the algorithm? Isn't it scary? Now, just so you know, Instagram is not like that. Instagram puts everything out and just sends it out to the test market all the time. So really the quality of Instagram stuff is not in the same algorithm setup as Facebook is. Facebook is much more touchy on the responses that you get, if you guys are with me. And again, when you do comment on people's stuff, ask the questions. Ask questions so that they respond back to you, those potential clients. Because then if you're a potential client, Jennifer, and you respond back to me, conversion, win, victory, right? Now we're back to talking to me at the top of your feed. So anybody have anything else? Anybody? No? Did you like it?
I'd like to add something.
Add something.
Did everyone see my post last night on CB Buzz? Yes. Do you know what I was doing? I was stealing all of his content. I put a video out because it gets 18 times more engagement. I made a joke and said, Chuck's going to fire me if you don't watch it, which is really the reason why I think we have 90 viewers today. Everyone cares about me, Chuck. So
Okay, all right.
they're here for me, not you.
Okay.
And also, I responded to every comment to ensure that it kept going to the top of the algorithm.
Right.
So with that being said, I would appreciate it a lot if you guys today found this post on Facebook and left a little comment on it because it boosts our algorithm. It keeps me employed. So
Actually, can you guys all, everybody pull out your phones real quick?
yeah, can we do that?
Everybody pull out your phones real quick.
Also, don't forget you can follow realtors from other states.
Yes.
True.
Number one, build your network.
Yep,
Right.
yep.
Number two,
Go to Facebook, guys.
Number two, Tom Ferry R&D it. Rip off and duplicate.
That's
Yes.
correct. That's correct. So everybody pull it out, and then go on to Coldwell Banker ABR, and it's got a little Hawaii Coldwell Banker symbol. Right. So
hear
that's
my
the one.
voice.
Hey, here's what I want you to do, Mark. All you got to do is hit share.
Share.
Hit share for me. Just share that and say, got some good social media stuff, and hit share. And then you need to be asking your clients to do these same sorts of things when you put out a video. Who wants to share it? I'm going to be doing a drawing. 4 apple pies I'm handing out, whatever it may be. I don't care. So just go on to Coldwell Banker ABR. It's got the little Hawaii Coldwell Banker looking symbol, and just share this for me. And just put good info, or I like this, or good stuff. Sharing with the world, whatever it may be. And see, I've just manipulated 14 people into sharing this for us, right? Adam, you happy now?
I'm so happy right now. Thank you so much. And thank you to everyone who actually showed up and watched this. I can work another day.
Yes.
I appreciate that.
Margaret, keep another day?
Can I stay?
All right. So basically that's it. Are there any questions in the Facebook chats or anything like that? Or are we
No,
good?
but I want to say thanks, Don, Steve, Danielle, Bonnie, Courtney, everybody commenting,
Yes.
Good.
And all you
thanks
people
for the
out
info.
there in social media land watching right now, please leave a comment, share this post. It helps other people learn this great content.
Cool.
And it helps Michael and I stay
I really
employed.
feel like Adam's selling it right now. Look at him go, man.
Gotta.
You need to be selling. What are you doing back there?
I don't know.
All right,
Being
guys.
real. That's what he's being.
Margaret says I'm not allowed to sell, so.
Oh, boy, here we go. All right, guys. So thank you very much. Thanks for tuning in. And boys, we're out of here. All right. So next Wednesday, we're going to be doing some cool stuff, and keep your eye on it. We're going to be doing this every single Wednesday. So thanks, guys.